So, as I'm currently going through all my feelings, lucid dreaming changed my life. So, lucid dreaming is basically the state in where you dream, but due to a bit of training, you can actually be pretty aware in your dream, and you can also sort of stimulate in what you want in a dream, where you are going. So let me tell you a story of me and my grandma. My grandma and I have a special relationship, so to say. So when I was younger, I noticed that my grandma was treating me differently than my brother. And when I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old, I went to my grandma to ask her why she was approaching me differently than my brother. On my own accord, I went to my grandma together with my mom, and then I asked her like, hey, why are you treating me different? And her answer was basically, well, I like your brother more. I sort of understand it a little bit, like my mom had a miscarriage. Her first child died after 9 days due to some complications with pregnancy. Since my brother was born after her, he was her favorite child. I hated that. At least I didn't go to my grandma anymore afterwards, because I first didn't like the fact that I was treated differently. And this, for example, had to do with the fact that I didn't like certain traditions that she held up. So, for example, on Sundays we had to wear Sunday clothes, in where I am always sort of going against traditions. It's me, I'm the black sheep. Yeah, I got into small fights with her because I didn't want to wear Sunday clothes. The last few weeks I've been forcing myself to dream. You can do that by drinking water just before you go to sleep, so that you wake up in the middle of the night. It can be a bit tiring as well, but if you force yourself to wake up during the middle of the night, you will start to be more aware of your dreams. But what happened a few days ago was the fact that I all of a sudden got myself in the house of my grandma. And since there was quite a bit of unresolved emotions towards my grandma, like as a joke, I would always say like, hey, you know how people would say, may God have their soul. Then I would always add for my grandma, may God have their soul, please, as soon as possible. A bit of a dark joke, but hey, I was young. I think you need to see the fun in everything. But as I was going through the house of my grandma had a house full of stuff. Like literally there was stuff everywhere. But I was going through the house. I was going through basically all of the rooms. I could really lively imagine how her place looked like. And I was going through her house. I opened all drawers just to see what was in there, as I could still imagine. And I saw a lot of stuff that she kept for her kids or for her grandchildren. I always had a pleasant experience while I was going there. Like, we could play outside. She didn't make many rules besides the Sunday clothes rules. I woke up at one point, but I got myself to a state of lucid dreaming again by just forcing to close my eyes, because I had the feeling that I wasn't done there. And I sort of had the spiritual experience that also someone was telling me like, hey, you're not done here yet. You don't get the purpose of it yet. And while I was going through the drawers and the closets and etc., all of a sudden I realized that she kept all that stuff partly for us. Yes, she was a hoarder, but she also just wanted to make sure that we as children had a good time. And my grandma didn't have an easy life. Like, my granddad was an alcoholic, and although he was a super nice granddad mostly to us, she had a hard time dealing with him. So my granddad, for example, he passed away due to, well, probably alcoholism, but also due to smoking. And he had cancer. At one point, after the first time he got sick, he got declared better again. And then it got back. He asked my grandma to go to the gas station for him to get cigarettes. And me and my brother were probably a lot of energy around the time. Hey, you were kids. And my grandma, got annoyed at us, probably because he was already stressed because he wasn't agreeing with the fact that my grandpa decided to smoke cigarettes again. She all of a sudden just said like, yeah, the fact that grandpa is smoking again is your fault. So yeah, after processing all of this, I just realized like there is unresolved emotions towards that, and I also realized that I shouldn't be mad at her. She had a hard time herself, because I think there are always like reasons why people behave the way that they behave, even for myself. Yeah, this dream was intense. When I realized that she was keeping stuff for her grandchildren and she wanted the best for us, I started to cry. Then I woke up and, well, I took a few days to sort of let that rest. And I can now say like, whatever happened, I forgive her. And it was such a relief for me to have that experience. If you're not dreaming, please start dreaming. If you want to move yourself further, if you want to process your feelings, start dreaming, because it's so important. So yeah, there's enough information about lucid dreaming. I already made a video about it, I think a few years ago. I will put that up here. But yeah, this was a wild experience with lucid dreaming, but spiritually it's just so important to do this. So yeah, my little video about how lucid dreaming changed my life, because it does, and it's so important. Let me know if you have any experience with lucid dreaming, or are you scared for dreaming, for example. For now, there is nothing else to say than big hug, much love, and then I see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.